What's up, Dance Fam? We are back with another episode of the session, and we are here to review World of Dance Season 2, Episode 6. Last week, we were on break, but World of Dance was on break, so we just did a quick recap and kind of what we were expecting and what we hope to expect in upcoming episodes and qualifiers and duels and whatnot. So if you haven't seen that one, check it out and come back to this. And if you haven't seen World of Dance Season 2, Episode 6 yet, definitely check that out before we review it, because we're going to spoil it, so this is your warning.
Spoilers.
Today, Justin couldn't be here, but we have Jemuel Valencia.
Hi, what's up, guys?
He's what?
He's my twin.
That's true.
Apparently.
So I have a pair of twin brothers?
Yes.
JV is Eser's brother. JV's no stranger to the show. He's one of the DanceFam fam. DanceFam fam.
Yes.
It's part of the dance. Fam squared.
He's done a few episodes of Get Down Gamers, so check that out if you haven't seen it. Culture Shock artistic director, formerly.
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Which is for all of us, I guess.
Yeah. We can say all the same thing.
Tito BoyScouts and, general old guy. One of the old guys that we are for this area when it comes to dance. And as always, Eser Valencia is back. How's it going?
I'm good. Doing fine. Fantastic. Hope everybody had a great holiday out there.
Yeah, it was the 4th. That's why it was on break.
Yeah. It was Immigrant Day.
Jeez. We're gonna get into politics now.
Moving on.
Well, World of Dance, the three judges, they kind of have their own politics among them.
Yeah, they do.
There's like dance politics.
For sure.
I'll get into that, especially with J-Lo, but anyway.
Anyway, we'll get into that too.
So this was another episode.
Danny Bear.
Another episode of qualifiers.
It keeps going.
JV, you haven't been keeping up, but
yeah,
it's hard to watch all of these.
It really is.
And try and stay, I don't know, entertained?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's like going to a buffet. We're back for like thirds.
Yeah, pretty much.
And kind of maintain some sort of mental stability on just like, oh my gosh, is this? We're just like kind of droning on it
When
now.
I was watching it, I was already like, oh, this can get repetitive.
It does.
Yeah.
And Justin mentioned this last week, but it's kind of like going to a World of Dance competition.
Oh, yeah.
And sitting through like 40 performances.
40 performances,
gosh.
no regulation, just like everyone showing what they got.
Yeah.
But
let's get into these performances. And there were 7 last night.
Yeah.
So there were quite a few normal. Actually, they've been doing 6 or 7.
Yeah.
When it's 7, that usually means someone doesn't make it. And I think one person doesn't make it, or one group doesn't make it, but we'll get there. First performers were DNA, a married ballroom couple from New York City. They were on the show last year, apparently. I didn't see them because I stopped watching it. I think DNA are like their initials, like Dennis and something.
I want to say Daniel and
Donna and Adam? I don't know.
The dude was D.
Yeah, it was a D guy. The D.
So when it came to the performance, I was okay with it. The best part for me was like their opening. I guess she was on his shoulders, and she was kind of like Batmaning it
It's really
with her
athletic.
skirt. Yeah. And I don't know, that opening just seemed really powerful to me, just because it kind of sets a tone for the rest of their set. So, making a point, making a stance, like we're here. This is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And as you said, it was really athletic. They were super intense, especially in the facials. The dude, especially in terms of muscle.
Yeah, that's
and masculinity.
Didn't they say that they were there before and he needed like to be a little bit more athletic or more built, so that's why he's like he picked up dumbbells.
Yeah, I remember watching their round last year.
Oh, okay.
And then I stopped watching too when they got to the duels part. But yeah, the guy had issues with being able to lift up with ease his wife. So that's why his comment from Neo twice last year was always about you got to get back in the gym or something, like get that arm strength, because it looked like you're struggling picking up your wife out there and performing, because those lifts aren't easy.
Yeah. and tonight or last night in this episode, he crushed every lift.
He definitely did. Like he took those notes to heart, and he came back with like, I'm not playing this year. I got the muscle this time, so I can definitely lift my wife.
Yeah. There was one lift that I liked. Is when I'm not sure where he held her, but she did like 3 kicks up into the air. Like one right after the other.
I like that one.
It's kind of like a bicycle kick into the air. Yeah. But that was really cool. Like I said, his lifts, actually I wrote it, lifts were effortless, like nothing to him.
Definitely much better from last year.
So he's definitely been working out.
Yep.
The reason why I think they didn't make it, the main part at least, was that he stumbled, I guess.
Yes.
Last season. No stumbles in this one. Pretty straightforward.
What was the song? It kind of didn't really stand out to me, the performance as a whole, other than...
Yeah, that's what it was.
I remember because it reminded me of Jackass 2.
Oh, okay.
The opening credits.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah. See, I think the judges made a comment about that, because at first when I watched it, I was like, oh, are they contemporary dancers? And then they were saying, make sure you choose the song that fits your style, because they were actually ballroom dancers. And that's what was confusing me about the whole performance. I remember now, it was really like, I had to kind of filter through all what they're doing, like, oh, okay, now I can see that they're ballroom dancers, but all this like lifts and like athleticism is kind of distracting to what they're actually doing. So in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it looked ballroom to me.
Yeah.
Kind of like Pasadole-ish. I might be making that up. It's not tango. I forget. I know what it is. It's just, I want to say Pasadole. I could be wrong.
Yeah. But like the music, the song choice wasn't.
It didn't go for you.
To me. It just didn't seem like it was. They were doing Latin dance until like they started doing Latin moves, or partner work. But
did they? Good.
It was a risk, like a lot of these performers just they never know. It could be the first and last time they appear on stage, so that's why they just got to take it as it is and just go for it. And yeah, I can see what you're saying, that it was kind of confusing at first. Like if you just jumped in before they even showed or even mentioned that, oh, these are ballroom dancers, like maybe people definitely could have been confused, like, oh, what could they perhaps be doing, because they're doing a lot of tricks. It may have been overpowering the actual dance, the actual like ballroom part of it. So yeah,
I don't think so. I thought it was fine, because if you take like Karen and Ricardo in the first episode, they were doing tricks all over the place, but they were still ballroom dancers. I don't think you saw it.
Yeah.
But I thought it was fine. One thing I wanted to accent was her control of her skirt, because when you wear a long skirt like that,
it's most definitely
not.
Oh yeah,
and it's not a full skirt; it's like a half skirt, just like from her side in the back.
Yeah.
And she was, using that as an extension of her body, pretty much. It's really difficult to keep that under control, especially doing those lifts and whatnot.
Oh, most
but
certainly.
I think she did a really good job doing that.
Yeah, it flowed right.
I thought they got scored properly. Actually, yeah, pretty properly. Neo gave him an 85, JLo an 89, and Derek an 89 for an average of 87.7. That's about right for me. I'm glad they made it through.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm glad he worked out and really showcased his new muscles again.
Yeah, for sure.
That was probably the whole point of their set to make it a point. Hey, I can lift her now.
Yeah.
He was very like just going for like, I can do it. Yeah. Like I know I can.
You sure can.
Because at the end, basically the comments from him and Neo, I guess, their interaction is like, yeah, that actually burned in my soul for a while, basically.
So that does it for me. Any last notes for them?
I'm good. And I'm glad they made it through too.
Yeah, I'm okay with them.
Yeah, I want to see what they have left.
Next group, or next performers are called Brotherhood.
Where are they from?
From Canada, Vancouver.
Canada.
Oh yeah, is this the one with the hockey sticks?
Yeah, they had the hockey sticks.
Hip hop group. They kind of started similar to us. They started in 2011, later than us. But they started dancing in basements and just vibing off each other and creating their own thing, using a lot of humor, and they like themes too. They're kind of like Canadian us, actually.
Yeah, I like them.
They were my favorite of the night, actually.
Yeah,
mine too. Actually.
I got really, really irritated when it came to judging when they got judged. But to refresh people's memories, they had a hockey theme. They wore hockey jerseys.
Yeah.
They even had props. They used sticks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they made really good use of them. It wasn't over the top.
It wasn't distracting.
It wasn't distracting. And it made sense.
And they were really precise. Mm-hmm. Like, it didn't look like they were struggling. They knew exactly where it was going to go. Mm-hmm. And they knew exactly how it was going to hit. So it was
perfect.
Yeah.
What I really appreciated with them and what they did really well is that when you do a theme, it can get over the top and become a little gimmicky. Where for them, they were tasteful and with it. It wasn't over the top with the hockey theme. It's just they were wearing they're wearing jerseys again, using the sticks. Even had one guy be a puck.
Yeah, I did appreciate just their set in general because it did appear that it was very well thought out and they exactly knew where to go and what to do. That chemistry was just so important, and it was showing. It was very apparent.
Mm-hmm. The song they chose was I'm gonna say old school, but it's not that old. When we think old school, we think like 80s and whatever, 70s. But they chose Chris Brown back in the day. Chris Brown. Mm-hmm. But the way they dance is more new school dancing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But what I liked was that they were doing new school, but they still maintained like a grooviness about them. Yes, they did. They kind of, I don't know. You could tell they could get down if they needed to. Yeah. Just some of them just moving their bodies.
I think some of them are b-boys or have some b-boy training, so they have that kind of rock.
They were b-boying for sure.
Have a rock, but
absolutely.
But still, really, I don't know, clean.
Yeah, they were very precise. What I wanted to see more, I guess, in their choreography is a little bit more of a little bit more bounce, because you can see it was coming out and then it would stop and do a little bit more isolation stuff. So that was my comment about I wanted to see them they have the rock. They have a cadence to their dancing. It's just it gets, when you get to the new school type of dancing, it kind of stops that bounce and that rock, and then they go into a little bit more kind of quote unquote beat killing or isolation movement. So I think I would have wanted to see more of their bounce to the ounce.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I agree. I mean, I could always use more bounce, more groove, but with that show, they need to
commercialize it. Yeah, for sure.
But they had when I thought in that sense, I felt like they had a good balance.
Yeah, it was pretty on point in my opinion too.
Mm-hmm. Another thing I liked was that their use of the stage was really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they knew it was a circle stage, so they weren't just.
They were very prepared.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They, not a lot of the performers that we see, especially the hip hop dancers, and urban style dancers, they don't make full use of the stage and don't cater to, I guess, anyone else
but 360 audience. But the judges.
Mm-hmm.
But they did a good job. It was obviously more focused for the judges, but at one point they managed to break out and branch out too. Mm-hmm. So it was really cool. Eser, what did you think about them?
I enjoyed them very much. I also agreed that I thought they were one of my favorites of last night's episode. And they had everything that I liked watching about a group. They had it together. There was a theme going, not overcompensating using the props. It was very clear to see what they were doing. But what bothered me kind of was the comments J-Lo made at the end of their performance.
Yep.
For one, was like she was saying it may have been a slow beginning, and then it needed more grittiness and rawness to their choreography.
And commented on that too.
Yeah. So I'm not so sure about the slow start. I think it was a good way to ease it in, because I think for every good story that you want to put on stage, I think it's nice to have it low key first and build it up rather than just a full force effect.
It's the introduction needed.
Yeah, but the grittiness, rawness.
She doesn't, man. She does not understand. Not everything needs to be like super gritty, right, or raw.
Yeah, you know, like I guess from where she comes from, I guess she's been in New York, so the dancing is a little bit more raw.
Yeah,
but you know, to me as an artist, as a dancer, you should pull from what's relevant to you,
right?
So if you're like, say, both of you guys are lockers, you guys pull from those genres, but you don't say like, hey, I grew up in the 70s and the 60s era and actually grew up with funk, you know, like you kind of relate to your own experiences. So that's what I think she hasn't really understood, that these are a newer generation, that they're from Canada.
Yeah, I know.
They are.
They're not going to go into the streets of New York and get some rawness. They're going to go from Vancouver, whatever they pull from their experiences.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I'm glad they didn't, because it helps them stand out. Like, it sets them apart. I mean, you know, they could probably go hard if they wanted to, but they chose not to because, I mean, in my opinion, they probably didn't want to because, well, one, it didn't really match the song and theme that they were doing.
Yeah. And
then two, you know, it helps them really stand out.
Yeah.
I mean, it caught JLo's attention, not in the right way, but it caught her attention.
Yeah.
Another thing I didn't like about the judges' comments, and you touched on this a little bit when you said that they had good use of the props, or I guess we all did. But Nia was like, you know, I wanted more of the prop when I wanted more of the sticks when you guys started out. I was like, Jesus, are you kidding? No,
dude, no.
Like you can blow anything out of proportion, especially a prop.
Yeah.
And any more, it would have been way too much, I think. Yeah, other than that, I was okay. I wrote "shut up" after, and for JLo too.
But for sure, JLo was showing some bias.
I think what irked her too, or irked the judges, is because they had they said it that they had a cheer like leading-esque kind of facials.
Not really.
Yeah. So I mean, it to each his own. Like I can see that. But at the same time, like I'm gonna stand by my point. You are gonna pull from your own experiences. If you're a happy dude, you're not gonna always be like angry. You know.
I agree.
So,
she said she wanted them to be more gritty because that's what, quote unquote, that's what they're up against. I was like, so you want to be like other people you're up against?
I know,
you want to be different and beat them the way you're gonna beat them.
Yeah,
that's artistic opinion.
Gosh, she's man, I have nothing but bad words to say about her. So I'll just, I'll be quiet. Anyways, Neo gave him an 81.
Jenny from the block
gave him a 75.
Jenny from the block.
And then Derek gave him an 85, which I probably would have given them a high 80 something because I really liked them.
Yeah,
they had a lot of swag.
The scoring just bothered me so much when I saw it pop up. I was like, JLo, for real?
I was like, if she sabotages them, oh god.
I don't want to watch anymore. Seriously, if she's gonna do that.
They made it through with an 80.3, just barely made it.
But
thank
you, Derek.
I know, thank you, Derek. Gosh, man, JLo. I wonder if Derek knew. Maybe he was like looking at her.
I was like, what is?
I know, right?
I just scored him a little higher. Then.
Yeah, I want them to get through.
Anything else about them? Brotherhood?
No,
I'm good.
The Canadian Boy Scouts.
Next performer was Vivian Ruiz.
Ruiz.
She's a 16-year-old contemporary dancer from Miami, like JB said. And I guess her story that they really focused on heavily was that her first boyfriend broke up with her. And that's not to say it's not something to laugh about. Like, we've all been there.
Yeah.
It's her first love, and it's going to be the hardest one to get over and to hurt. So, you know, her being a great dancer, she channeled that through her art and made this piece, which I thought was okay.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
It wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I didn't know the backstory, and I guess JB, you just watched the YouTube, right? So you didn't see a backstory.
No.
Yeah. So if I had I just watched that and not known about the backstory, I probably would have been like,
yeah.
All right, no.
But they before each performance, I mean, you can guess they do a whole thing
of like who they are and what they do. Yeah,
it's a like nice 30 seconds.
Yeah, and so when I watched it as purely like performance wise, it didn't stand out to me. I think this is one of those examples of like it was really athletic, really technical, but there was no connection to the music. There were to me, I don't know. It was just not. It didn't make me connect in a way that she was trying to portray. So I could see she was angry, but it was like kind of confusing to me. So I guess if I had that preface, however you pronounce it, but then it would make more sense. But coming from someone just watching it,
yeah,
just like,
okay.
So it didn't stand out to me, and I was wondering why she qualified, but she's a great dancer, athletic, technically trained, but it just didn't resonate with me.
Yeah, Eser, do you remember what song it was? I don't remember the song, but I recall it like certain lyrics saying, I don't love you anymore or something like that, or I don't need you anymore or something like that.
His note says emo song.
That's what I wrote. It said, setting is appropriate. Seriously, I wrote here setting is appropriate for emo song. So I really couldn't remember the name or just like
I don't know. Yeah, I didn't know the song,
but it's the feeling. Yeah. It definitely is the feeling.
Yeah. So it connected for you. You thought.
A little bit, but at the same time, I do see from what JV's pointing out, because there definitely were points where it's just like it didn't connect together throughout the entire performance. Like, but at the same time, I was forcing myself to really relate with her rather than she relating back to us. Yeah, but she's very well technically trained, and she was good. And a lot of the time, I was just noticing, wow, she really likes that right leg. She just kept lifting it up.
She's right heavy, yeah.
Very right heavy.
I wrote she had good strength and great control in her legs.
Yeah, for sure.
I probably should have wrote leg.
Leg. It's just like...
So I was just hoping for a little more variation in her performance, because a lot of the time it was just like all I can think of is like, oh, she kept sticking that right leg just spinning up that way or spinning up that way.
And actually, funnily enough, or I guess just to be devil's advocate here, or just to provide some kind of counterpoint, I thought there was too much variation in her set. I thought she was cramming a lot of emotion into that.
Okay.
Not just one either, like multiple. Like from the get go, you could see that she's like sad, obviously.
Sure.
But then she goes through like a whole thing of anger to getting over it. It was kind of a big emotional roller coaster, which I think is what everyone was riding on here.
Don't dump her.
Yeah. Well, apparently he got with another dancer 2 days later or something like that. I've been
boys, don't be doing that,
man. Some girls too, but anyway.
But we don't deal with girls anymore.
That is true.
Deal with women.
We deal with women's.
I'm stuck with one.
So am I.
I was actually, so I agree with both of you. I didn't think, I was actually surprised she made it through. Okay, I wasn't surprised she made it through. I knew she was going to get through based on the emotion alone and the story behind it. But if just looking at her dance, I wouldn't put her through myself. If anything, I'd probably give her an 80.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is like passing, but the bare minimum.
I've seen better.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially on the show. But one thing that really got me thinking and hating more for the show was when J-Lo was like,
dang, she's...
Yeah, she was...
Okay, go ahead, sorry.
She was like, I really appreciate how soft and delicate you were in your performance. And I'm like, why is it okay that you can, why is it okay that she can be soft and delicate, but, with the previous performers, they needed to be grittier and raw. So that got me thinking. I was like, you know what? I think she's stereotyping dance styles. If you're hip-hop, grittiness, rawness.
Yeah.
If you're contemporary, soft, delicate, emotional.
Yeah.
Why does it have to be that way? I mean, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, exactly that.
I agree.
I mean,
yeah, same here.
So that really grinded my gears. This episode, J-Lo was on like my bad list.
Ooh.
Good job, Neo. You didn't grind our gears this week.
He's like laying low. Like
he's like, oh,
I know people hate me.
DanceFam.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was like, that's not. She's totally biased.
Yeah.
For sure.
And stereotyping.
I can see that. Yeah, it's just the voice of. It's always. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
There's like no excuse here.
Yeah, it's just,
Really isn't.
she's a fly girl too.
Yeah,
Right?
I know. Yeah.
Maybe she just stuck there. Her mentality
For
is just
those you
stuck
guys
there.
don't know, I don't know if you guys explained this in the show already.
I think we mentioned it. That's how she got started.
Yeah.
Being a fly girl on
Living Color.
Living Color.
Yeah.
And Living Color.
Just as a dancer.
Mm-hmm.
But
Neo gave her an 83, J-Lo an 84, and Derek an 82, which I agree with Derek. I'd probably even score it lower. But
Yeah.
actually, I made a comment that Derek has a really great eye for noticing like a slight foot movement.
Yeah.
I guess when her foot was in, her leg was in
Right,
there,
right.
she just kind of like shifted a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, man, I did not even notice that.
yeah, Derek has like
He's the best one on this show.
Yeah.
he has good judging, like, I don't know,
ability.
but at the same time when I hear him talk, I'm like, sometimes I can't understand what he's trying to get at until like, okay.
He's really intense.
Yeah.
And
he
passionate about
Yeah.
anything. But I like him because he's the one that actually gives good critiques.
Yes.
You know, when it comes to like technique, everyone's like, yeah, you need to be more this, less that, or something.
Yeah,
but Derek's
he's
like, if you want to work on this, you can do that. But
for
whatever.
sure.
And he's pretty well versed in the competition scene too. So
And
yeah.
he knows, well, some of the urban styles.
Yeah. Some.
Later on, I mentioned, no, I'll just say now, but I think it's the next performers. He noticed that they were doing house steps.
Yeah.
So he knows what
Latin
house is.
Oh, this one.
The Untouchables.
This was crazy.
They were next. Ballroom
They were
dancers.
interesting. Yeah.
From Miami. The leader of that group, D'Angelo, was on the show last year.
Mm-hmm.
And his sister is on the show this year also because
it's a full family affair.
His dad is the choreographer of both of them.
Yeah.
And before I go any further, his dad looks like Dennis Kaindeck.
Oh, really?
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's
Right?
That was what I was trying to think in my mind when I was watching. I was like,
shout out to Dennis.
Shout out CSLA.
CSLA. He was in New York for a while.
yeah, for a while. But yeah, I was just like, why does he look so familiar?
Because we saw him earlier. He was.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's Dennis.
That's crazy.
God, who? Yeah, I'm not even gonna look for it. But yeah. So they did a Brazilian capoeira, Latin ballroom.
It was a big
fusion.
Yeah, it was a big fusion of things happening on stage.
Distracting. That's what
It was incredibly distracting. Go ahead, Eser.
Seriously, was just hard to pinpoint things out when I was watching it, and then like I'm trying to write my notes too. I was like,
do you think what they did? So take that whole thing. You know, they were wearing Brazilian flags. They were dressed in the outfits.
Yeah.
And the boys were dressed as like capoeira dancers. Do you think it was kind of like cultural appropriation a little?
I can see that.
I mean, they're from Miami, but
yeah, I can see it. I don't necessarily think it's in a negative or bad way, but I just think it may. But we can say that again with the Canadian team. You know, they were trying to, I guess, appropriate hockey culture, but
hockey's big in Canada, though.
Yeah, so.
It's
a team.
It was a question. I was like, cultural appropriation? Question mark?
I don't know. I didn't think of it that way. You know, I thought it was
like,
just,
why are they doing this theme?
Again, like, since I watched it as on YouTube,
yeah.
When the episodes came out, so I didn't have any.
Oh, you didn't miss anything.
Yeah.
So I just thought they were Brazilian. So I was just like,
that's true.
Cool,
some of them could have been.
Yeah,
you know,
perhaps.
And I might be just talking out my butt here.
Yeah. But no, yeah, it was just really, it was really distracting for me. Like, it's one of those other examples, like I said before, is really athletic, and they were, so you can see they have technical backgrounds. It's just, I don't know if they were connecting as a whole and to the music again. Yeah. It was just like, I need to show and validate we are competent in this competition, and a little bit of the artistry is going away, you know?
Yeah, it was kind of like white noise.
Yeah.
Just, but actually in the preface that they did, so D'Angelo, he didn't make it through last year, but he wanted to come back this year with a team and with really show that, you know, that they're awesome now or something.
Okay.
So he was really proving a point, but I think he overdid that a little too much. And it's exactly what you were saying. It was just all over the place. Neo was actually the one that mentioned it. You know, too much going on.
Yep,
was hard for him to concentrate.
For sure.
And that's about it for me. I don't think I would have. I probably wouldn't have put them through.
No.
Even less so than, who was it? Vivian.
Yeah, I would rank them as like, I don't know. It's not necessarily against them as people or dancers. It's just like
the set they chose.
Yeah.
Put together.
It wasn't for me.
But they actually scored higher.
They did. It was a little
Yeah, I mean, even Neo was the one who mentioned that there was too much going on for him, but he still scored them pretty high, 87. J-Lo an 89 and Derek a 90, which was surprising to me. I didn't think he would score them so high. So maybe our eyes aren't tuned to that.
Well,
go ahead. Sorry.
But like, you know, like you judging competitions, and like you see like sometimes the judging sheets and so the criteria kind of is biased towards a certain way of scoring points. So like as subjective as we like to be, like they reach these number of points on these different scales.
That's true.
So they're like, oh yeah, well, I make these comments, but they still scored high, and it kind of just it's really like a balancing act, in my opinion. Like how can you quantify something that is subjective, and you're comparing different styles of dance, which is apples, oranges, pears, like, so it's just like so that's why they probably maybe they got scored higher than you. And you know, we've been to different competitions, we're like, really, they got that high of a score? And you know, like
I want to see this. I want to see their judging sheets, or the app, I guess, that they use.
See their iPads.
As far as
the table,
as far as I know from, I guess, like their side talk, there's like choreography, cleanliness, technique. I think that's about it. Or I mean, that's all that I captured.
You think audience appeal, or like what?
I don't think so, because I think that audience is dead.
Yeah, that's true.
A lot of it's just played on top, or it's just sound effects. Because they're there all day watching all of these performers. They're not going to cheer for everything.
Yeah, they paid for the show. But my point I wanted to get to, I mean, and not necessarily like, it's just kind of a neutral comment for me when I wrote this, is like fully engaging because like I've wanted to see what was going on, like individually. Like I tried to section it off myself when I was watching it, and it was like, okay, there's like 13 performances happening right now.
Yeah, because even like the girls' outfits did not complement the guys' outfits.
It didn't contrast at all, like very well. It was like I'm watching a parade here, and then I'm watching like whatever is happening with the guys.
Like capoeira dancers just kind of chilling over here.
Yeah.
But they were doing like Latin house also.
Exactly.
Even if you see the camera work, the camera
didn't know where
it didn't help
there to focus, and this is edited, mind you.
The camera
they had to cut it in certain ways and lay it over to make it like appealing to TV. So
they scored too high for me.
Yeah,
88.7 was their average.
Same here.
They'll come through. They'll go through. I hope they do better, because, gosh, it was just like screaming at me. It was engaging.
Yeah,
because they forced it down your throat.
Yeah, they really did. They really did.
I was engaging because I was choking on it.
Because seriously, it felt like they just shoved me in a chair, and I was just forced to watch it.
It's like a festival in Rio
That's true.
Yeah, but the festival in Rio is actually one note.
Yeah.
It knows what it wants to be.
Right.
These guys, I mean, it's all over the place. Anyway.
Rio de Janeiro.
Let's move on to the next group of performers, ST Kingz.
ST Kingz.
Otherwise known as a different name that is more vulgar.
Yeah.
Look them up if you haven't seen them. This was not one of their best performances. In fact, it was probably the worst they've done.
Yeah. We actually... So...
They're from Tokyo, Japan.
Yeah.
By the way.
But when we were kind of growing up in this scene, they were also getting really big. So I was kind of disappointed in how they performed.
Yeah.
And
well, it's not our first disappointment. Hilti and Bosch was on in the previous episode, and they didn't make it through.
They didn't make it.
Wow, that's crazy.
We're pretty sure J-Lo is super biased toward locking in general.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's like, yeah, I've seen the pop locking before, and you need to there needs to be more with it. You can't just do the whatever.
What do you mean more?
I know it's a style. Anyway, we've had this conversation. She just said the same thing for Lock and Loll. They made it through.
Wow,
they made it through, fortunately. But she said the same thing. We've seen pop locking before. You need to be more than that.
Locking.
Yeah.
But,
someone please educate her.
But with ST Kingz, they're great dancers. We've seen them.
Yeah, I've seen them do.
Definitely watch their stuff. Look them up. They're not known as ST Kingz, but if you type that out, you're bound to find what they're really called.
Yeah,
and you can probably guess. Just put 2 more letters in between those, between S and T, and then. Their issue was that they took way too long to get to the dancing, and I completely 100% agree with.
I did too.
Derek, I think, said it
for sure.
The whole first part was just straight up acting.
It really was,
ding, 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 ding.
And that's about it.
They took a little too long
for me
for the introduction.
It was also I feel like their music was cut short. They cut
that too. Well, I think. Okay, I don't know, but. Yeah, I agree. Their set in general was super short.
It was really
right?
short.
So I'm wondering if they were just set up to lose from the start, in the sense hey, you get this amount of time, which is less than what these guys can do.
Wait,
True.
So are they given this music?
We don't know.
Oh,
no, they're not given it.
Oh, so they select it. Okay.
Yeah.
And
I think it's just the time frame.
I'm just curious if there's a time allotment that they're given.
I mean, we can go back and see how long. Compare each performance.
Because Brotherhood, theirs was pretty long.
It was almost the whole song.
Yeah.
So maybe it's this artistic choice, hey, we're done.
Seriously, I was finishing writing up maybe one little note after, and then I just wrote, I looked back up, they're done.
For me, I couldn't take notes because that first half was just okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. Waiting for the beat to drop.
Yeah.
And then there they go. They start dancing, and now it's over. I'm like, wait, is that really it?
Yeah.
It was a good song, too.
They could have done so much more.
They could have.
There wasn't much dancing. I typed out before they even got judged. They probably won't make it through. Mm-hmm. J-Lo, again, with the whole stereotyping, she's like, hip-hop needs to go to another level, whatever. With the dancing that they did, it was fine. It was great. They just needed more of it. There needed to be more of it. But I think she's super biased towards hip-hop.
Mm-hmm.
Or, in general.
I think just new school urban choreography.
Maybe.
Yeah, hip-hop dance, and she just, I don't know. I think she just sees it one way. And I would like to see if she can prove us wrong.
I know.
So.
Neo gave him a 79, J-Lo 78, and Derek scored them the highest of an 80.
He's always trying to help them out, though.
Yeah,
I've noticed his scoring was just
but hey,
give him a little oomph.
Yeah, I wasn't too thrilled about their performance this time around because they definitely were just boxing themselves in rather than the use of the whole stage as well.
Right.
So,
I mean, I've seen them do that style. I think. I don't know what it is. It could be that their style is very almost. I think they got caught up in the quote unquote beat killing and syncopation, whatever, with that whole acting in the beginning and then but it wasn't clean either, so it just didn't resonate with me as an audience member.
It doesn't work for a TV show.
Yeah.
It works well for like a live performance.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially if your fan base is there.
Yeah, yeah.
That might have been the issue. Not much to their set, so let's move on. They didn't make it through, obviously, with a 79 average.
Plus side on the outfits, though.
This is a 6th episode.
Yeah.
Only the 4th team to not make it through.
Yeah.
Wow. So they got a lot more people.
They have so many acts.
Everyone's pretty much made it through except for them.
They need to be a little bit more.
Yeah, we were talking about it last episode that 85 would have probably been a better.
Better cutoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Next performers, Ashley and Zack.
Oh yeah,
contemporary
this was a good
duo from LA, not dating.
Once again, Neo.
They did a kind of like a Dirty Dancing type of performance to Versace on the Floor by Bruno Mars. I liked it. I thought it was great. Their lifts were perfect.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
A lot of them, and a lot of creative ones, especially and Derek liked the one where he was carrying her like that, but then she snaked down and around. It was awesome.
It was.
The one particular flip was when she went straight to the floor. Like, do you remember that?
Oh yeah. He kind of like
it wasn't. It looked like it was him that whipped her there, but she did it herself to whip it on the floor.
You know what it reminds me of? It's like if like your phone or your tablet like is about to fall.
Yeah.
But then like you catch it kind of halfway through and then let it drop a little bit more. Like you.
That's what it looked like.
But yeah, I like that part.
It was great control. Like I thought that was a mess up almost, but then like, oh, it worked. It was so good.
They were both strong, and when I say strong, I mean physically strong.
Yes,
they were very precise.
Yeah, control of their bodies were great.
Incredibly precise, incredibly athletic, and he kept breathing into her stomach so much.
I remember. I did see that.
It was almost like okay. To me, I like the performance, but my gripe about it is like the song is a little bit more, like it needs to connect with me on a sensual level. They were saying it was sensual. To me, it was kind of like, all right, I'm watching an adult film and this is too forceful. Like there's
really, you thought it was too much?
It was a lot, man. To me, it was just, I guess it wasn't there with the music with me. I was expecting a little bit more like slower moments. It just kept going for me, and it was
fair.
It was good. It was like it fit the genre and it fit what they were going after. But I think I would have wanted a little bit more like just a little bit more.
You want more moments?
Yeah, more moments. You know, because it was like I just couldn't breathe. It was just like okay. It was like I can't. It's just how you guys make love, just like like
lift,
throw, like, and it was like on point. But it's just like, wait, the only moments they had was just like him, just like breathing heavily into her stomach. It's like,
and there was one point where she like did a flip into a split, and then he like dragged her around in the split. I thought that was a nice moment too. I'd have to disagree with you just for a little bit. You have a great point. I didn't even think about that. But I agree with Neo. He said it was it was tasteful sexiness.
Yeah. No, it wasn't raunchy at all. Yeah. It was good. It was just.
But you thought it was just overwhelming.
Yeah, it's just like there's no foreplay.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. Okay.
So it was just straight to it.
Eser, what did you think of the song? Because J-Lo said she didn't
did
like
write
the song.
that. Oh my gosh, I had a gripe about
that.
Like, she was just like this the entire night for me, and I was just like, really? You didn't think it connected? The whole piece and choreography did not at least connect with you? I was like, that's just my whole thing. The whole time when I was like listening to her, like how? Like I think. Okay, for one thing, yes, maybe the some of the stuff may have been overwhelming, but I honestly thought it was just there.
Yeah,
it was
too.
Really there. Mm-hmm. How could she not think that it couldn't connect with each other? Like it wasn't an appropriate enough song for the type of movement they were doing.
Right.
Like
again, stereotype.
you're just thinking. She was just definitely thinking on a one-tracked area rather than like, oh, maybe like you can do something else with it. Like,
I think she said the song didn't connect for her.
Yeah, she definitely did.
And I mean, if you look at just the basics of it, Bruno Mars, Versace on the floor. It's about it. The song alone is sexy.
Yeah.
And then they did a sensual dance. Why doesn't it connect?
They're constantly touching, they're caressing, and then
I don't think she likes. I don't think she likes Bruno Mars.
She's like, what? Okay, maybe.
Maybe she's mad because it wasn't one of her songs.
Jenny from the block.
Shout out to Bruno. Side note. But yeah, like, I don't know what she wants. Like,
seriously.
Like she's sitting there looking at one team, and then the other time I'm looking at her, and like, did you watch the same thing I did?
Yeah, seriously. So I took note and said, so Neil gave him an 84 and Derek gave him an 87, even though they gave better critiques than they gave to the Untouchables.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they scored lower than the Untouchables. JL gave him an 84 also for an average of 85. So it's like, I don't know how they're judging any of these.
Yeah,
really?
It's like, you don't know. Like, you don't know. There's not consistency. And sometimes I wish that, like, you know, they have industry, like, professionals along with the celebrity judges to kind of, like, okay, balance it out.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Derek, I mean, we keep saying this. Yeah. Derek, we understand.
Yeah.
Like Neo and JLo, not so much.
Not so much.
Like, like JLo, sure, she has her dance background and she's probably, you know, done it a lot more than, and Neo's had his dance background, but he's more of an artist, a singer, rather than
singing, dancing,
than going into the studio as much as like actually like
he's not like Usher who like dances.
Oh yeah.
Or even Chris Brown. I mean, I'm not a fan of Chris Brown, but he dances way more.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. He's in even a B-boy movie.
Yeah, that's true. Battle of the Year.
Oh gosh.
Sprained his ankle, couldn't do it.
I really wish it would have been a different artist other than J-Lo.
No, it's fine. Like, they do it for the ratings. I just say, if you want to get legitimate source of like judging, you need industry professionals alongside with, you know, like, you're not gonna have like just Simon Cowell judge a cooking show. You want you want
that's called
Gordon Ramsay.
It's called Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah, you want Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah.
Gordon Ramsay,
the other British jerk.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my thing.
I was just thinking Janet Jackson would have been a great judge.
She'd be fantastic.
I think she would have been.
Yeah,
would have been fantastic.
But she's currently on tour. It's okay.
Yeah.
She's always on tour forever. For all the Jackson family.
The whole Jackson family.
So that's it for them. Let's move on to the last performers.
Oh, man.
The Rock.
Wow.
The Rock Company. They are a young group of contemporary dancers from Las Vegas. And their whole story, or preface, it's their sob story. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean that in any kind of negative connotation. It's just that everyone has one. Is that they're doing this for the shooting victims from the Vegas, the Mandalay Bay shooting
in October.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, last year.
That was back a few months. Yeah, several months ago.
Scary.
Yeah, that was really scary.
Because we were there in June.
Wow.
Different reason. For the youngest girls were 10 and 11, so generally young. I know that. I was talking to Justin, actually. He was watching it, even though he couldn't be here today. And I talked to you a little about it, JV. And you guys liked it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think Justin said he was even crying.
Of course.
Of course he is.
Of course he was. For me, I didn't. It was just okay for me, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought their strongest part of their whole set was the beginning. They did the whole ripple, like holding their ears and looking around and then ripple. And breaking up. I thought that was the most interesting part of their whole performance, at least. And then it kind of went downhill for me from there. Obviously, they were good, clearly. And they're technically trained and perfectly fine. The motion is definitely there. I did like the part where that one girl is like thrashing and then like on her own.
Right.
Like, I get it. But nothing really stood out to me after that.
To me, I think when I watched it, it was really captivating. It was really elegant, but at the same time, what blew my mind was that it wasn't the sob story or anything, but how much of how adult they looked as dancers. To me, that you can put these guys into the adult category and they would be better or on par with some of these people competing. That's what really caught my eye, is like how technically trained and how well together and how adult they dance. That's why I liked it so much.
I got you. Eser, you can respond to this, what I'm about to say. So I see what you're saying, and to kind of counter that, and you didn't see them, but I want to bring up, I think it was Expressions. Were they the ones that train with ankle weights?
Oh, Rock Lee.
Doing the one, like the turns, the constant turns?
I think that's the same group, yeah. I think that's the one with the ankle weights.
And they did turns like in sync and perfectly together. Wow. They trained with ankle weights. Yeah. So
wow.
I recall now. Yeah, their turns were really good.
So I thought they were exactly how you described the Rock Company, being mature and being adult-like, so adult-like in terms of their dance.
Mm-hmm.
And you haven't seen it, so I mean, obviously you can't make that comparison. But when I saw it, I compared them to Expressions because they were also another group of girls who were contemporary, who are marked as contemporary. But I talked to Justin. Both of these groups are more lyrical than anything.
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
for sure.
Not contemporary. So if it wasn't for, if I hadn't seen Expressions, I probably would have liked them. But now that I've seen Expressions and I saw them after, they weren't as impressive for me. Again, just that first part was the most captivating part for me, and then after that, it was like they're good, but nothing. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Their performance was actually reminding me of the Japanese group of girls that were in
Fabulous Sisters.
Yes, the Fabulous Sisters.
Really?
It was kind of like that level, but I wouldn't say they're the same.
No way, man.
Yeah. I thought they were somewhere in that same realm of performance quality, but definitely I would go with the Fabulous Sisters a lot more. But they were there. These girls were there.
Interesting.
Fabulous
like
Sisters.
that elegance about them. It was sparking that image for me. But yeah, there were definitely times that I was just like kind of lost my attention. And
yeah, exactly.
Like it was definitely the intro that was probably the best thing that kept me try to hold on. But then like as it progressed, it was just maybe not so much.
You know what? You know why I think it also captivated me? Because so being on YouTube, and you told me this, but for some reason I was watching it on my smart TV and it got out of sync. But I watched this is the last performance, right?
Yeah, the night.
On the
this
show.
is the night.
It's it's either the first or second performance I watched.
Oh, really?
When I was watched. So that's
okay.
Maybe there could be a contrast in order as well, and that could be another factor of like how judges judge. They have a benchmark in the beginning, and then they start ranking people depending on that's the one I like. Now this is where they go afterwards. So
it's fair because they shoot literally all these episodes. This is one long shoot.
Yeah.
And then
really
they cherry pick the performances and put them in different episodes.
Yep.
I see.
We don't know where they rank or where the order is.
So
this could be the first one of the whole night.
Possibly.
Yeah.
We don't know.
And having having a girlfriend in like extra work, background work, I know that it could be a long time. Like they've been probably have people staying in the audience for long amounts of time.
Yeah, exactly.
And
for sure.
The judges judging for a long amount of time, and yeah. So
and we actually need to get Kayla on this show eventually. She was in the audience. Kayla Evans.
Oh,
she was
okay.
there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
She can tell us all the nitty gritty about that.
Yeah, I said they were clean. First part was the strongest in my opinion. Not the greatest, but great for their age.
Yeah, for sure.
Their ripples were awesome. Everyone loves a good ripple.
There were some powerful moments. I mean, like they really left their hearts on the floor.
Yeah, but it's the whole emotion thing again.
Yeah.
And I think this going with J-Lo again, and like this, she catered to like what she had stereotype to. So it's like
it was nice. It was soft and delicate.
Yeah, soft and delicate.
So I think to me it was honestly kind of unnecessary for her to walk up and like give them all.
Yeah, I didn't expect that either.
Like,
well, they were crying.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I know,
but she could have done that
like,
for other groups as well.
I mean, yeah, I just don't think like you can tell there's like bias and favoritism.
Oh, for sure.
Just by that action alone.
There was one point where this one dancer was doing turns, and I say this out loud. I was like, "Oh, there's a boy."
There was a boy.
Yeah, there was a boy in that whole group.
One boy. Yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah,
a boy.
There's a boy.
boy.
So yeah, that was it. But yeah, if you watch expressions, you can see what I was talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Neo gave him a 97, J-Lo a 97, and Derek a 96.
Yeah, they got the highest score for the night.
Yes, they did.
96.7.
Yeah.
Almost
So they could have been
tied for the highest.
Almost.
Oh.
Yeah. So they'll be through, and really good for them. But I'm curious to see what they're going to be bringing now because
they
rode that whole emotional train
No.
in this first performance. So what next?
Right.
You know?
That's what I was thinking too. By the end of the episode, I was like thinking in the back of my mind, okay, they brought all of that. What else you got in your bag?
So, yeah, seriously.
Healthy and Bosch.
They didn't make it.
Seriously, they didn't make it.
It was, to be fair, it wasn't one of their best.
No, it wasn't.
For sure.
But it wasn't. I'd give them at least an 80.
I know. I wanted to see them actually go through.
Healthy and Bosch. Those are the guys we kind of looked up to. When
Exactly. I said it. Yeah.
Yep.
Man.
We were heartbroken. Well, anyway, so that's it for this episode. Any last notes from you guys? I'm tired of watching this show. I'm still waiting to see them Raider Boys.
Me too.
Yeah, Justin,
we're still sticking with it, man. I hope your team comes through too.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if they're in the next episode either. Too.
Oh gosh,
I'll probably follow when it starts getting to the real competition. But this is just watching this only episode was a little was already kind of grueling, and I don't know. It was like watching. Being in World of Dance,
the actual competition.
We would go to World of Dance from as Culture Shock DC, help out, volunteer, but we'd also sit there for the whole day. We'd say we'd get there, we'd bus there early in the morning, and then we'd leave at midnight. And watching so many performances. That's how it felt, just watching these performances.
Speaking of helping out at World of Dance, Poyotics was on the show too.
Yeah, they were.
They performed.
Oh yeah, I saw a trailer. Yeah, so that's cool.
They were alright.
Did they make it?
Yeah, they got through.
They were
them
usual selves, actually.
Yeah.
We commented that they didn't look any better, but that's not to say that they weren't good.
Yeah.
It's like they're just them.
Yeah.
Again.
They maintained their identity.
It's like from their last performance, they stopped for 2 years, and then they just did this.
Kingz isn't in this one. Right?
No, they were on last year.
Yeah. Gotcha.
All right, so that does it for this episode.
Okay.
Justin.
Woo! See, I'm his twin.
JB and Eser, I want to thank you guys for coming.
You're
As
very
always,
welcome. Yep.
Eser, we'll see you back next week.
I'll be back next week.
JB, I guess you can come back anytime you want if you want
back
to.
Playing Nintendo Switch.
But in the meantime, where can people find you? On Instagram?
Sure. I have no social media presence a lot in the moment, but VJJV on Instagram and Facebook is Jemuel or JAEVEE.
Perfect.
Yep.
Eser, where can people find you?
Y'all can find me on Instagram at Valcirca, and you can find me on Facebook, Eser Valencia. Oh man,
I had to say it.
I thought
Justin's not here.
Justin's not here. I thought he was gonna say it this time.
He's single. And as always, I'm Russ, aka Lock and Robin. Thank you guys for stopping by and watching this episode. Be sure to watch, all our other stuff at dancefamtv. Check it out. Find us on Instagram, Twitter, and all that other good stuff. DanceFamtv at dancefamtv #thesession. We'll see you guys next week for World of Dance Season 2, Episode 7.
Okay.
Peace.
Bye-bye.
Deuce.